Amid the trees, the mansion stood like a palace. Gentle sunlight streamed through the windows, and birds chirped outside. Yet, despite the beauty of the scene, the owner of the mansion carried a strange restlessness in his heart. This unease was about his loyal black housekeeper, Maria, who had served the household for many years. Maria's hard work, her quiet demeanor, and her dignity had always impressed the owner. But in recent months, there had been a change in her manner. Her belly had grown noticeably, and everyone knew she was pregnant. However, she had never revealed the name of the child's father. In her eyes lay a secret that kept the owner awake at night. One morning at the breakfast table, the owner casually asked, "Maria, how are you feeling?" Maria lowered her gaze and replied, "I'm fine." But there was a slight tremor in her voice, as if she wanted to say something but couldn't bring herself to speak. Days passed, and the owner's unease deepened. One day, when Maria had gone to the market, he decided to find the answers to the questions that troubled him. He quietly entered her room. The room was simple yet impeccably clean. On one side was a small bed, an old wardrobe, and by the window, a chair with a half-knitted blanket draped over it. The air carried a faint fragrance, as though the space had been lovingly cared for. Soon his eyes fell on an old wooden box tucked under the bed. He bent down, pulled it out, and carefully opened it. Inside were old photographs, yellowed letters, and neatly folded baby clothes. Embroidered on the clothes was a name that made his breath catch. It was the name of his deceased son. His heartbeat quickened. He opened one of the letters, written many years ago. The words of his son seemed to float before his eyes. "Maria, you mean everything to me. When this child is born, I will love them more than my own life." His hands trembled as he read. Could it be that Maria and his son had been in love? Was the child she carried actually his own grandchild? He opened another letter, in which his son had written, "If hard times ever come, tell my father everything. He will understand you." But Maria had never done so. Perhaps she was afraid the owner would reject their relationship, or maybe she had remained silent to protect herself and the child. In the box was also a small silver locket. Inside was a photograph of Maria and his son, both smiling happily. Tears welled up in the owner's eyes. At that moment, he realized Maria was not just a servant. She was part of the family, and the child she carried was his own blood. By the time Maria returned, the evening light was fading. As she entered the room, her eyes fell upon the owner sitting by her bed, holding the box. Her breath caught. "Where did you?" she asked hesitantly. In a gentle voice, the owner said, Why do you have all this, Maria? Tell me the truth." Maria's lips quivered, and tears shimmered in her eyes. "I was afraid. I didn't want you to hate me. This child is your grandson." Tears streamed down the owner's face as well. Stepping forward, he said, "Maria, you are no longer just my servant. You are part of my family." He embraced her, and in that moment, years of distance melted away. From that day on, everything in the mansion changed. The owner openly welcomed Maria into the family. A room was prepared for the baby, soft colors on the walls, light curtains at the windows, and tiny clothes and toys everywhere. Months later, Maria gave birth to a healthy baby boy. For the first time, the owner held the child's tiny hand and said, "Welcome, my son's son." In that moment, he felt as though this new bond had reconnected him to his late son. Now the mansion was filled with laughter, love, and peace. The owner knew this discovery